Is that a new sweater?
Yeah. It is. I bought it. At Winners.
I'm so cold.
It's very cold, yeah.
I hate winter.
This is Canada. Welcome to it, eh?
I'm gonna have to get in the hot tub again.
Hello everyone, welcome back to Foster the Meeple, a channel all about
Board games.
and lowering
Jeff
my
has
chips.
no pep.
Jeff has no pep, unfortunately, so everybody here,
Guys,
pep him up.
guys,
Pep him up.
it's winter.
Pep him up. Pep him
It's
up.
winter. It's cold. It's dark all the time. This is just Winter Jeff.
This is Winter Jeff.
This is what we call him, Winter Jeff.
Welcome him to the party. We're here today to do another If You Like This,
Try that.
Try That. So today's game that we're going to be chatting about is a classic called Clue.
Colonel Mustard with the lead pipe in the conservatory.
Exactly. So Clue or Cluedo, depending on where you live in the world.
Where's it, Cluedo?
In the UK.
God, they're weird.
Leanne's not going to appreciate that comment at all. Clue or Cluedo, a classic murder mystery.
What's the dough mean?
What?
Why do they need the dough?
I don't know.
What's the Cluedo part?
It's just what it's called.
Like, clue makes sense to me.
Yeah.
You're getting a clue.
Yeah. Cluedo.
Cluedo.
Who got that Cluedo?
Who got that Cluedo?
Okay, so Clue or Cluedo is a classic murder mystery style game where you are trying to solve who done it. Who did the murder? Who was it? Where did they do it? What was the weapon that they did it with?
I just said.
Yeah, I know.
Colonel Mustard, lead pipe.
Well, it could be different.
It was
Who
always
knows?
It was always Colonel Mustard.
I think it was Professor Plum.
Hmm.
For anybody that's here that hasn't played any other board games other than Clue, and you've played it 1,000 times and you're thinking,
I want something different.
I'm ready for something different. Well, don't worry, because we got you covered. So today we're going to be talking about a few different board games that we feel like you would like if you've played Clue and you love Clue. Okay, we got a bunch of different styles, different difficulty levels, all of that good stuff. So, shall we just jump into it?
Jump away.
So, the first game that we have to recommend for you is called Mysterium or Mysterium Park, which is the version that we have. So, Mysterium is more of like a haunted mansion type of theme, where this is more of like a haunted carnival type of theme. So, in Mysterium or Mysterium Park, what you are trying to do once again is you're trying to solve a murder. You're trying to figure out who did it and what did they do it with, or where they did it. I don't remember specifically because the two games are slightly different. One, you have to guess more things. This one, you have to guess less things. But you're doing that by a ghost, who is going to be like the active player, is trying to give everyone clues to who done it. And they are very abstract art style cards, and they are going to be kind of handing them out, and you have to deduce, based on what's in front of you, the correct answer, and you only get so many turns to do it. I feel like this is a nice kind of like next step up from Clue because it's not a difficult game. It's very easy to learn, very easy to jump into. It's relatively quick to play, and it's super fun.
All right, next up we have Micro Macro Crime City. And I think this is the first of now, I think, 3 iterations of this. Micro Macro Crime City is like a big Where's Waldo whodunit puzzle.
Of murder.
Of murder.
And theft.
And theft.
And
so ultimately,
stuff.
In Micro Macro Crime City, you're going to have a bunch of different like scenario prompts. And it's going to tell you a narrative story. But what you're trying to do is locate that narrative story on this big map of Micro Macro Crime City.
It says one huge city map. The map is huge.
So it's a bunch of like cases. So there might be like a murder in this area of the city. You need to find it on the board, and then you're gonna have to find little like key clues that tell you the whole story. Then you are just basically trying to solve the crime based off of all these little prompts. It's very, very simple, but also incredibly fun. Very low-key, just like an enjoyable experience to just kind of like sit around and try and figure these things out. It does say 12 plus on the box.
I would agree with that.
I feel like it should maybe be a bit higher.
Well, just because there's, it's about murder.
It is about murder.
It shows the
and
murder.
It's there.
Even though it's like cute little animals.
Yeah.
And like cute little drawings.
The Crime City part is legit.
It is a crime city.
Anywho, if you like that kind of like deduction, where's Waldo, but maybe you're not looking to, get a board out and all these pieces. It's literally just a big piece of paper, big map, and some card prompts. One thing I would suggest, you basically have to like kind of draw these, not draw, but you basically have to follow these patterns on the map. We got these little like Pollywog tokens. I don't know if that's what they're actually called.
We don't know.
But you basically can put them out and be like, oh, hey, here's this thing here. It just allows you to kind of like visualize where you've been, where you've gone, and what have you. It makes it a little bit easier.
I just want to say another thing. This you can play by yourself, or you could play with like 1 or 2 people, whereas like Mysterium Park and Clue, you generally want to play with like more people. So this is like, hey, me and my significant other might want to do this together. Yeah. I do think playing this with, you could play up to 4, but I think playing this with more than 2 is probably like too many cooks in the kitchen.
Yeah, I think it's perfect with 2.
I agree.
Or 1. It's good with 1 too, I think.
Our next recommendation is a game that I just will recommend any opportunity that I get, but it is called Psychic Pizza Deliverers Go to the Ghost Town.
Okay? The Ghost Town.
Perfect name. Now, this is a little bit different. It's straying a little bit more from Clue, but it is still a deduction style game. So one person in this game is playing as the mayor of Ghost Town. And what everybody else is doing is they're playing as pizza deliverers. And everybody is trying to deliver a pizza to a specific house in Ghost Town. So as the mayor, you can see the entire map. You can see where everything is, where all the ghosts are, where the pizzas are, where the houses are, everything. And everybody else starts off with a blank white erase board. And they are trying to map out their little journey in order to, first of all, figure out what are the boundaries of the 7x7 grid that they're in, but then also to find the pizza, and then also to find the house. So that's what you're trying to do. It is silly. It is super fun. It is a little bit chaotic, but it still kind of lives in the same realm as Clue in terms of like that deduction, because you are just trying to figure out where a piece of pizza is and then where the house is that you need to deliver it to.
Yeah. It does require like a game master though.
Somebody to play the mayor.
Which is a bit different, but
very easy to do. Definitely plays best probably at like 3 or 4. Minimum 3, so you can have at least one person playing as the mayor, and then the more the merrier, because people are just going to start stealing each other's pizzas, which is always fun.
Deception Murder in Hong Kong. I love this game. Deception Murder in Hong Kong is a deception-based game. Straight in the title.
Straight in the title.
Where you are basically trying to resolve a murder, or that's not the word I'm looking for. Solve a murder case.
I have resolved a murder.
Everyone is going to have basically 2 cards in front of them. So it'll be like a weapon, method of murder. So it could be like poison, axe, knife, I don't know, a bunch of different stuff. And then also like a piece of evidence that maybe was left behind, like a skull or pills, etc.
Yeah.
And you're trying to basically solve the murder, but also you don't want people to think you are the murderer, because one person around the table is the murderer. So one person plays as the investigator, and they're not allowed to talk. They're going to have a bunch of prompts that are in the middle of the board, and some are good, some are bad. They will take these markers and put them on these prompts to help people deduce who the actual murderer is. And again, the prompts are pretty obscure. The person that murdered the person, might have poison in front of them. So the person might put a token on a prompt that's something to do with poison.
Yeah.
But multiple people could have similar things in front of them. So then it becomes like, well, I think it's Jamie because she has this in front of her.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe the murderer is the one pointing at Jamie to deflect away from them, and then other people are like, well, wait, are you saying that because you're the murderer, or because Jamie's actually the murderer?
Mm-hmm.
And then it all becomes about that kind of table talk and discovering who the actual murderer is.
Yes.
It's super fun. It does require a bigger group, in my opinion. I think this
you need
plays
a minimum
best at
4, but like 8 would be ideal.
Yeah, I think like
6
anything
to 8.
above 5
Yeah.
would be really great. But it is a really, really cool, party-esque like murder mystery game
Mm-hmm.
with some really cool deduction elements in it and a lot of banter.
And it plays relatively quick. It's like 15 to 30 minutes, and everybody will turn against each other, which is the best part about this game. So much fun. So the next one that we have to talk about is called Almost Innocent. Now, Almost Innocent is almost like a semi-cooperative whodunit kind of thing. And basically, you're trying to prove your innocence. And so you have in front of you kind of like a screen that is going to show you a map of things. So you're giving clues to the person to your right, and the person to your left is going to be giving clues to you.
You just did the opposite of left and right. You said left and did this, and then said left and did this.
The person, you are going to be giving clues to the person to your left.
Correct.
And the person to your right is going to be giving you clues, and is going to be trying to help you to deduce what your clues are, basically. So it's like, what is my location? Who am I? What is the weapon that I have? And essentially, you're just trying to prove your innocence by working together. And you're trying to deduce not only what you have, but you're also trying to deduce what other people have as well. So like, I will have a map in front of me for the person next to me, so I know everything about them. And you're just trying to all get on the same page. So this is really like a bit more of like a brain burner, like thinky kind of deduction style game, whereas like Deception Murder in Hong Kong, as example, is more of like a like a party-ish style, like everybody's kind of getting after each other. But here, really, like, you want to help people find their solution. So it's a little bit of a different style game to Clue, but if you're into the deduction, if you're into the mystery and like solving a puzzle, this is a great game for that.
Last up on my side is a big boy.
A big boy.
And that is Mind MGMT. This game falls more in the vein of Psychic Pizza Delivery's Go to the Ghost Town. Ultimately, this is a hidden movement game where one person is playing as a agent that is trying to move around a map and not get caught, basically. And then everyone else around the table is trying to find that person. So that is going to happen by moving around this map, prompting for clues, prompting for information from the person moving around, and then ultimately what you're trying to do is guess where this person is. So you're trying to deduce where they are, and because again, it's all hidden movement, and then when you think you know where they are, capture them. What's really cool about this game is there's kind of two variants. There's like a base game, which is relatively straightforward, can get progressively more difficult depending on what you want to add to the game, and then there's a whole shift system that really kind of dives into the complexities and that sort of thing of deduction and hidden movement. But yeah, this one is definitely farther away from the Clue example that we're using here.
Still deduction.
But it still falls in that deduction realm. And again, like, I know a lot of people like to play Clue because of the deduction piece and not necessarily like the theme per se. So this is one that really can scratch that deduction itch. And it is really, really fun to be the person hiding from everyone.
It's honestly fun either way, because like if you're playing with a group of people and you're trying to catch one person who is literally giving you the slip around every turn, you're like, okay, I know exactly where they are. They're here. Grab them. And they're not there.
And it's really interesting because like you'll be playing the person that's hiding around this map, and you're hearing the banter between the other people trying to find you, and they're like, oh, he or she's definitely up in this corner, and you know you're not, and you're just kind of sitting there letting it happen, and you're like, they have no clue where I'm at, and it's such a powerful feeling.
Yep. Last but not least, This is, if I were to recommend one game, if you love Clue, this is the game that you need to try.
Mm-hmm.
And it is called Awkward Guess. Now, this is essentially just a better version, in my opinion, of Clue. It's a little bit more of an advanced, a little bit more of a gamery version of Clue. So in Awkward Guess, you have a billionaire that has been murdered in his own home. And you are trying to figure out who did it. Did they have any accomplices? What room did they do it in? What weapons did they use? Very similar to Clue. But how it works is basically everyone is going to have cards in their hand, and those cards are going to have clues on them. And you are also going to have a map in front of you, and you're like, I need more information about the living room and about this person. So you might say, okay, I want information about the living room. And everybody around the table is then going to bargain with you the information that they have in their hands. Mm-hmm. So somebody might say, well, I've got 3 cards that have information about that. And then you're exchanging your cards based on kind of like a point value system, essentially. Now, where it gets a little bit interesting with that is you may know that a card that you have in your hand, that person has already had. And so you can give that card back to them to almost kind of screw them over a little bit. Because you want to give as little information away as possible and get as much information as you can. And you're going to continue doing that round over round until you feel like you have enough information to solve the crime. When you do that, there is an app that actually comes along with this game. You can solve it just straight up with the book, but the app makes it a little bit better because if you guess and you get it wrong, the game's not over for you. Whereas in Clue, if you guess and you get it wrong, then you know the answer and you can't play anymore. This, it'll just tell you like, nope, you're wrong. Yep. And you get another try to figure out the puzzle. So Awkward Guess, I love the vibe of it. The artwork is really cool. The interaction with people is really cool. It is the closest game you're going to get to Clue that isn't Clue, and that kind of advances that experience for you a little bit. We freaking love this game, and you can play it solo too.
Yeah, it's one of those, like, I really think it's interesting and cool that the currency in this game is information.
Yeah.
And you, as Jamie put it, you want to give information to as little people as possible, but you want to gather as much as you can. So, like, you know, you really want people to forget about the information you've already provided them.
Yeah.
Because then you can, because all of these cards are exchanging hands constantly. So, like, I could ask Jamie for information that she provides me, but I know that Jamie had just gotten that information from someone else.
That you gave them to.
And so that person then asks for information, and I could be like, I know these cards came from this person. So I could be like, yeah, I can give you 3 pieces of information about, you know, the library. And me knowing that they already have had that information, but it still counts as currency. And then you get some new information. It's just, yeah, it's such a... This is the most Clue-like.
For sure. And everybody has, like, a privacy screen, and, like, you've got your own little map that you can take notes on, and you can do whatever you need to do to deduce. There's also so many scenarios in this game. So there's, like, so much replayability. It plays great with, like, a larger group of people. It plays up to 8 people. But, like I said, you can also just play it on your own, or you can play it with like 2 or 3 people. I'd say the sweet spot is probably 4 or 5.
Yeah.
I would think. Yep. So anyways, that is Awkward Guess. If you are looking for a game and you're not sure, this is the one that you should definitely try if you love Clue. Now I had 2 honorable mentions, and they're honorable mentions because we haven't played them, but we have it on good authority from our friends over at Table Knots, Emily and Doolin, that these games are great. And I wanted to shout them out because they are like murder, mystery, crime solving type of games. So we have Mystery at Magnolia Garden, which is one of the Hunt a Killer series. There's a whole bunch of different ones. And then Suspects is another one. And there are multiple in this series as well. So you are trying to solve, it's a murder mystery basically for both of them. Those are some game recommendations. If you have tried Clue and you are thinking, what's next? What's out there in the world? I've solved this crime 10 times. What's next?
Maybe you're like, I would like some more Cluedo.
Yeah, maybe more Cluedo.
No, like, get it?
Yeah.
I want some more Cluedo.
Yeah.
Cluedo.
Yeah. You had enough Clue? No, I want more Cluedo. that is everything that we have for you today. Now, if you're interested in buying board games like any of the many we mentioned today, you should first start by checking your friendly local gaming store. And for us, that is...
The Boardroom Game Cafe.
Yes, it is. Do you like snacks?
I do.
Where do people get snacks
Munch
again?
Pack.
Munch Pack. Snacks from around the world. Clues around the world. Thank you so much for watching. If you like what you see,
Please subscribe.
we hope to see you again soon. And now we say goodbye. Goodbye.
There it is.
Is your head always blocking this light?
I got no pep today.
Oh, Jeff, don't tell me that.
It's like, oh, blah, blah, blah. Stop talking. No, it's New Girl. Stop talking
Oh,
about my...
Schmidt,
Yeah,
stop staring at my frittatas.
that's what it is. That's what it is.
Now, hold still. You got... Got it. I got it, Jeff. We're recording. Jeff
Mic
is
check.
sipping.
Mic check. 1, 2. Camera 1. Check. Camera 2.
There's
check.
no snare. There's no snare in my headphones. I'm so sick and tired of being admired that I wish that I would just die or get fired.
That was good.
Thanks. I know a lot of Eminem.
Oh, man. I used to have every Eminem.
Superman
CD.
is one that I can...
Yeah. I used to have every CD.
Ooh, yeah, go run that game. Haley Jade, I love that name.
Ooh, that tattoo, what's that say? Rotten Pieces. That's great. First off, you don't know Marshall. I also don't grow partial. That's ammo for my arsenal. Oh, and then we better not continue on. I'll slap you off that boss stool.
The mic has been extra low lately, it feels. Doesn't it?
I don't know, Jamie.
Like,
Every time we come down here, it's something different.
Something different. Anyways,
Always
speaking of
Colonel
Clue,
Mustard.
best movie ever.
Clue is a great movie.
Okay.
That is true. So, the murder might be in this house, and then you'll be able to see, perhaps, a few blocks away, the person that maybe committed that murder. And then you have to...
I was just waiting for it. Just trying to talk through it for so long. I was like,
Well, that's what I have to do, because otherwise you just get mad at me. This is the things I have to do to keep you happy.
It's just really funny to watch you do, because you're like...
Anywho,